Alright, that was On My Own from FOSTERCHILD, and on the phone with me right now is guitarist Brian Quinn from FOSTERCHILD. Dude, what's going on?
Yeah, what's happening, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man, and I want to thank you for joining me. FOSTERCHILD is actually one of my favorite bands. I've been listening to you guys for a couple of years now. I saw you live down in Tampa, and for you listeners, you can check them out at myspace.com/FosterChildMusic and FosterChildRocks.com. You guys are based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. How do you guys manage to find each other? Give us a little history.
How did we find each other?
Yeah, give us a little history of the band.
Oh, Danny and I, the singer, we were playing, we met through a mutual friend in the band I was playing in prior to FOSTERCHILD. And Danny and I just got together and started playing some acoustic gigs. And I had gotten an offer from Kevin Miller from the band Fuel to start FOSTERCHILD. And he and I started that band together, and Danny and I pulled Danny in, and my friend Eric at the time. We've since replaced Kevin and Eric, but that's how it came together.
Right. Well, that's cool. And what was the thoughts behind the name FOSTERCHILD? How'd you pick that up?
Well, at the time, all of us, Kevin coming from Fuel, Eric coming from Free, Danny just being a loner, and myself coming from Octane, all of us coming from different bands, trying to find a new home to write new music. We just thought the name FOSTERCHILD fit really well, so that's basically where it came from.
Oh, that's cool. You played in Octane too?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
I played for 6 years prior to FOSTERCHILD.
Oh, very cool. I play them a lot too. I really like them a lot. So we'll give them props too. Octane, was it OctaneRocks.com is their website?
Yeah, that's still their website.
Yeah, cool. And what are some of your influences growing up? What got you into music?
Well, both my older brothers, that are, quite a few years older than me, and they turned me on to a lot of the music that I listened to, so I came up on, like, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, The Doors, some of the 80s stuff. My oldest brother was into, like, Journey and Jay Giles. They were big at the time, Billy Squire. And then my other brother, turned me on to The Doors, like I said, Black Sabbath, Zeppelin. And then just on my own, kind of really found bands like The Byrds and The Band and Bob Dylan.
Right.
And then, in the 90s, I was a teenager in the 90s, so, when grunge hit, that was a big influence on me as well. Soundgarden, Alice in Chains.
Right, definitely.
So,
well, listening to your tunes, you can definitely hear a lot of different influences in there. You got like the hair metal, you got the grunge, you got some of the blues and stuff. It's a really cool mix, and like every song is different. It's not you're not listening to the same thing every track that So it's definitely eclectic. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of the focus. I don't know how if that's really been a detriment to us in trying to secure a label, but the way that I write. Especially when Danny and I write together, it's just whatever comes to mind. If we're in a mood where it's like a little more blues based or southern rock based, then that's what gets written. If we're in a kind of a heavier mindset, that's what gets written.
Right.
It's just from all those influences, and I'd rather do it that way.
Well, yeah, you got
to do it that way as far as. It's just whatever you're feeling creative about. It's not.
Sure.
I don't want to just get lumped into being like some hair metal or southern rock or whatever. It's just there's a lot of great stuff that comes out of every genre of music. So I like kind of touching on all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, you got to write what you feel. You can't force something, or else it doesn't come out genuine.
It's true. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
But was it back in 2008, I believe it was, you guys were on a nationwide tour with Tantric and Vaden. How was that, man, touring the country like that?
It was great. We had a blast with all those guys. It was really cool. Very, very, really good experience. I had been out with the band years and years before that, but nothing to that level of what it was out with Tantric and Vaden. It was great. I mean, the big reason I got into doing music was for the travel. Just you meet some pretty colorful characters.
Oh, hell yeah!
And, get paid to play your guitar. So
yeah,
it was definitely up my alley.
Can't beat that. The whole tour bus breaking down thing. You can't go tour without a tour bus breaking down, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we had about 4 or 5 of them. 4 or 5 breakdowns at least. Easy.
I don't think I've talked to a single band where it didn't happen at least once. So I think this is part of the gig.
Oh God. Yeah. We upped the national average if that was the case. The one bus we had it just hated being on the road.
Yeah, it's not like you're getting brand new Greyhounds, that's for sure.
That's definitely true. But then again, too, we weren't crunched in a van or
true
car, so that I guess that's kind of the trade-off you got to go with.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you deal with the breakdowns, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
But
the road. There's really no road out there.
And that's why they call it the Wild Wild West. I noticed up on YouTube and on sellersessions.com, you guys got a couple of acoustic videos up. How'd that come about?
A friend of ours in Philadelphia runs that sellersessions.com, which is a really cool site. He spotlights, like regional talent. I guess for us being based in Philadelphia, the region would be like Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey.
Right.
Not so much New York, but Pennsylvania, like North Pennsylvania or whatever. And he just ends up showcasing like bands that are around, especially mostly original bands, which is great because Philly had such a thriving original scene for so many years. Cinderella came out of here and the Hooters and like all those guys in the '80s. There was a bunch of Heaven's Edge.
Right.
There was a ton of great bands that came out of this area, and the original scene was so thriving back then. And then it just when the late '80s and early '90s, and then it just completely turned to like a cover band area in Philadelphia, and all the original stuff kind of fell by the wayside. And guys like Bill Longman is the guy who's doing the sellersessions.com.
Right.
This Catfish just reopened the old Chestnut Cabaret down in the city, which was a big spot in the '80s. So the original scene is really starting to ramp up again in Philadelphia. We're really excited about it and thankful to have guys like Bill and all these guys that are getting behind it.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I understand. I used to work for bands years ago, and it's tough making money as an original act because all the cover bands get paid, the set fee and the back then it was, all right, original bands, you get paid based on how many people say they're there to see you. You got like $1 or $2 per ticket or whatever it was, and it was just hard. So a lot of bands had the dual personality, the original thing and the cover thing, and then it gets to a point where, well, you're only making money doing covers, so everyone starts doing it, and I guess the scenes wherever lose their original flavor to them,
Right. Yeah. And then there's just a band that it's not blessing for doing it. I mean, all they want to do is just go out and play and play cover party music,
Yeah, definitely.
And that's cool. I mean, I certainly don't knock it. I mean, I was never in really a party band like that, but with Octane, we did some covers and a lot of originals, and even with FOSTERCHILD, when we play the region, we throw in some covers, but stuff that really influences us, like Zeppelin, The Cult, Guns N' Roses.
Right.
Just to kind of have something else in there to kind of break up the sets and make it a little more of an experience for the audience.
Yeah, definitely. I think when I saw you guys down at Tampa, you threw a little immigrant song in there, I believe. And yeah, I loved it, man. It was awesome. And
yeah, that's cool. That's been a staple. That's pretty much any Zeppelin.
Yeah.
You're going to get at least 1 or 2 from us during the show.
Well, Danny definitely pulls it off. His voice he's got an amazing voice. For those of you who haven't heard him yet, and he has that tone to him that he can pull off the Robert Plant. So definitely fits you guys well. And
yeah, it does. I'll tell you, man, it's like he's 1 in a million, really, to be able to find a guy like that with that kind of vocal range that he has,
Oh yeah, and he pulls it off. What you hear on the album is what you hear live. There's no studio tricks that I can tell. He note for note pulls it off.
Yeah, it's just just a little bit of reverb on his voice. That's what he sounds like.